In the last few years, flat design has had such a great impact on the design world that even Apple, that usually is a UI trendsetter, finally subdued to the flat design torrent. The iOS 8 and the latest iOS 9 icons ditched the real-life approach of skeuomorphism in favor of simplicity of flat design. Of course, Apple's version of flat design is not totally stripped of their UI's traditional elements, like gradient backgrounds, but their icons are definitely leaning towards simplicity. Now, in this video, we will take a look at how to create an iOS-inspired calendar app icon. I want to show you how we can spruce up a flat icon with some simple shadow ideas as well. But first, let's break this icon down. We got the main rounded rectangle shape that is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 separate elements. We got the year on top and the day of the month and the day of the week in the bottom. All in all, a fairly simple design, so let's start. And we'll start with the main rounded rectangle, but before that, let's duplicate our artboard with the artboard tool. Now, in here, I'll make sure that the Move Copy Artwork with Artboard is not selected. And I will click this button right here that creates a new artboard. And I will click somewhere on the right to create an artboard with the exact same dimensions as the original. I will create a new layer for my design. I'll name it Calendar. And I am ready to start working. And I will start with the rounded rectangle tool that we can access from the Tools panel, of course. And while holding down the Shift key to constrain the proportions, I will create a rounded rectangle. And we can adjust the roundness of the corners by pressing up or down arrow keys. Okay. Now I will give it a nice gray fill and make sure that it has no stroke. And as we mentioned before, this main shape is divided into 5 smaller shapes, so this is what we will do now. First, I'll make the rectangle tool active to create a simple rectangle like so. Now I will head over to the Pathfinder tool, and with both my shapes selected, I will hit the divide button right here to divide the shape. And what we got as a result of this transformation is a group, so I will ungroup it and I'll start adding some colors. I will make the top part light red and I'll add my first shadowing effect by making the smaller rectangle darker red. Now, in the past, we'd add a drop shadow to the top part, but since we are using flat design rules, we'll simulate the shadow effect by creating a smaller and darker rectangle below the top part. Now, next up is this rectangle that is supposed to divide our calendar into 2 parts, and is supposed to work as a different shading effect. Well, that's easy. I'll just create a rectangle again, make it black or some really dark color, and I will change its blending mode to soft light, which we can do in the control panel up here, or in the transparency panel on the right. Okay, now let's take care of the bottom shadow. And it is as easy as duplicating the bottom rectangle and moving it a bit up. And I am doing it by holding down the Shift key and the Alt or Option if you are on a Mac. Okay, this should do it. And I will make the bottom part darker gray. And we're almost done. All we need now is the typography, and we'll do that in the next video.